back in the dirty old art classroom where we host our weekly episodes of Anime Club. Pew, 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 pew. If you like snacks, if you like anime, then you are in the right place. So give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and stick around because today we're doing Franz Ferdinand noises, Cyberpunk. Woo! I'm with me. Hey, chooms. Oh, I should have started. Hey, chooms. And with me, we've got the Gonk himself, my wonderful co-host, and probably my best chumba, Christopher Reed. Woo! Yay! How you doing, Chris, buddy? Yeah. So, you never would have bothered. I never would have bothered either, except for we set the challenge to try and watch more things that we hadn't seen yet. And this was one that neither of us had seen, but that we and how we decided. So this year we're doing lots of different challenges to decide who gets to pick each weekly anime. And this one won purely on merit of Instagram. So we each created a promo video. And so actually it's not even really my pick, it's the Gram's pick. But yeah, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Yeah. 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 So that's my last question straight out the window straight away, which is will you watch past episode 3? Both of us have. So we're gonna probably talk all the way up to episode sort of 8 or 9 is where we're at currently, isn't it? So yeah. Ooh. Uh, who is it? Who is it that we can hear and who can we not? Oh, that's nice. Choom ba choom choom. Is it you? There we go. We're just doing some got some technical difficulties, folks. So Chris always yells at me, right, when we do our sound check. Because what happens is we do the sound check, I make some noises, and then I proceed to talk over the sound check, so Chris can't actually hear what happened. And I think that's finally come to haunt us. Test testicles.
Test, test, test.
Yeah? Chris has been lost in the net. It happens. It does. He does. He's net runner gone deep. Although I think Chris, we were talking about this before, weren't we? And I was like, I think Chris is a nomad. I think rather than a kind of like, I suppose you could still be a nomad net runner. Um, but I see you more as like a kind of, I see you more grease monkey roles. You'd be climbing through vents to break into an apartment that you'd been evicted from. It looks like we've got victory. So you're back. Welcome back to Night City. Good to have you with us, June. So yeah, so some people will have played Cyberpunk the game, but for people who haven't played the game and haven't seen the anime, what would you say that this is about, Chris? Oh, Chris, you've gone again apparently. I don't think so because I can see in OBS that you're registering as making noise.
Test, test, test. I can hear myself there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We might be doing a solo podcast today where I just briefly talk about Cyberpunk and then we count some jelly beans. Oh, they heard the test, but they did last time too. Maybe you just have to stay real close to the mic.
Test, test, test.
How's that?
Can you hear us now? I can hear myself.
Oh,
Uh,
waiting for
oh,
confirmation.
yeah. This is gonna be hard because I can hear myself talk.
Oh, you're just gonna have to not throw yourself off. It's like you've got a Johnny Silverhands in your head.
Oh no. Do you know what
Um,
it is? I didn't like that character.
what you didn't like? Uh, you didn't
Johnny
like
Silverhands.
Keanu Reeves. I don't think he's a likable character. I don't think you're supposed to like him. He's a terrorist.
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
he's a narcissistic egomaniac terrorist.
Terrorist or freedom fighter.
Terrorist.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, but so let's go back. uh for those who haven't seen the anime, what would you say it was about?
Um, it's a futuristic capitalist wasteland because, and it's about a bloke called David
Yeah,
who,
David Martinez.
yes, who was thrust into this. Sorry, this is horrible. He's um
Yeah.
he's born into this life where his mom's a really overworked woman trying to put him through a fancy school, and he's kind of been drawn the short straw because he doesn't want to do it, but he wants to impress his mom because she's working so hard for it, and life just doesn't go his way. The rich kids at school beat him up, like,
Yeah.
and yeah,
They make his life kind of miserable.
and he kind of
Um
falls into the wrong crowd after his
mm,
mom dies.
yeah. So she dies in it starts off, I would say, in a very kind of like bleak. So it's set in the world of Night City. I think this actually does a better job than the game of expressing how truly bleak Night City is. Especially if you are like if you don't have money and you're struggling to get by and you don't have like uh yeah, resources or like a crew to run with, Night City is a horrible place to be. And it
Yeah,
starts off in, if you can imagine a world where you have to pay for all sorts of healthcare and emergency services, uh, and um, what happens is him and his mother get into a freak car accident. So there's some gangsters who are kind of do a bit of a drive by. Their car gets flipped. His mother ends up being kind of propelled out of the car, and then they finally get taken to by like a kind of sort of public-ish um low cost hospital, and uh because that because they can't afford resuscitation, so basically his mother starts to stabilize, then something goes wrong, but because they've run out of money and they can't afford stabilization, what happens is the uh she dies, and then he's left like this kid with all this debt. He can't pay his rent, and he ends up falling in with like a bunch of edge runners who are kind of mercenary style. A bit of a drive by. Yeah, it probably is. That's like a bit of an understatement. um, but yeah, so he kind of gets propelled, and the edge runners are criminals basically. They do jobs for people. Um, and after his mum dies, he finds Sandivistan, which is a type of spinal implant that allows you to move incredibly fast. Massively OP. Like, or I would say once you get it in the game, it's like, oh, you can kind of face any scenario. It's OP in the game. In the anime, it's also OP, but they do a nice job of balancing it for the story with some kind of like human biology limits. So they kind of do a good job of reshaping it so that it doesn't completely break the story and he doesn't become like a godchild. um, and yeah, and from there it's basically just about him struggling to survive and like but also a little bit just trying to fit in with his new family and trying to like get the girl, and there's a kind of nice mix between uh like scenes where you're unpacking the relationship between him and the other edge runners versus like action scenes, and the action scenes in this are so much fun. um and they really, you can tell that they sink a lot of the budget. They do the same thing that I think Ghost in the Shell does really well, the original Ghost in the Shell, which is they sink the budget into the action scenes and then they find interesting ways of showing the quieter scenes and framing them so that you don't have to have a lot of animation, if that makes sense. Like, I think it's a carefully thought out anime. The studio is the same studio that does Kill la Kill and Delicious in Dungeon. So it is a bit of a feast for the eyes as well, because, you know, they are very technicolor, they are very detailed. And we were saying before, the a lot of the soundtrack art is made by musicians that you will know and love, especially if you're Kris and I's age, because I think we do think that this is an anime made for people who were like rocking out to Franz Ferdinand in their teens, because they do like the opening credits. And it is a tune. And I was watching this with Ben, my other half, and he was like, and we were both like, this, did we forget how much we loved Franz Ferdinand? um, wow. Yeah. Yeah, it does. And it feels like and it's also like neon and technicolor. Like the anime is kind of very bright. It feels really well suited, I think, for anime, this type of setting. They've done a really good job of translating the setting of the game into the um yeah, into the like a different medium for storytelling. It's a good one, I think, I would say. Um yeah. Yeah, we're currently, when I say we, I'm watching Ben play through a game and I get to make decisions occasionally. Usually when it comes to like the romance options. We're currently wooing Panam, it's a whole thing. She's very cool. Yeah, I did. I've also been calling everyone Choom this week. Yeah. 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 The language is a really fun part of it, I think. Yeah. Back to single player. I like that we're calling it single player though. So yeah, no, I would say that this is a really brightly coloured one. I'm just gonna keep going while has a Kris has a like a small Menti B in the background because we're all entitled to a Menti B occasionally. Um,
Eh,
yeah, yeah,
it's fine. I'll
it's
try
all
to work
good.
it.
And
Ugh.
so yeah, what was your kind of initial impressions on animation style, Kris?
It was it was amazing. Like even the like avid colors. It was kind of what I wanted. Modern Ghost of the Shell to be, even though in July there
Mm,
is a new Ghost of the Shell coming out, by the
I
way.
know, and I'm not sure. I know I saw that you posted that today, and I Ghost in the Shell is up there with like my favorite anime. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the poster. It makes me nervous because
I,
I just it doesn't look like Ghost in the Shell to me.
Yeah, not sure about the boobs.
I do you know what? The boobs are a big part of it, but then like Major Kusanagi does have like she is like a sexy bod in the first ones. It just feels I don't know. It just didn't feel when I saw it, I didn't feel excited. I was like, oh, I just had like a gut reaction of, oh, I'm not sure I'm gonna like this.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, I'm
I would say
hoping
that
it's
this
good.
feels more like a legacy for Ghost in the Shell than the poster that was released.
Yeah, I'll have, the jury's out on that. What I'll think about, but
Wow.
the animation of this, it's bright, colourful, and it's familiar because I've played the game, and I don't know because it's familiar to us. That's why
Yeah.
it took us back to like, yeah, with the Franz Ferdinand. I'm like, yeah, Ghost in the Shell, and it just clicked. I mean,
Yeah.
was it Lucy is Kusanagi?
Oh, it's just like a blonde Kusanagi. There's a
Yeah,
split, and also Kiwi
even
is
the
who's
Bob.
the net. Even the Bob, and Kiwi has a similar Bob. Um,
Hate Kiwi.
and there are some weird augments. I have a question in a minute for you, Chris,
Mm.
about like what what implants etc. you would choose to get.
Right.
Um, but she Kiwi also has blue nipples, which I think is a wild choice of like of all the things that you could do to yourself in a world like Cyberpunk, like drop a few grand on some blue nipples. Just feels like an odd choice. She also has
Yeah.
no lower face. So she has this like weird mask over her face, which is kind of low-key horrifying.
Mm.
Um yeah, but and it also is very I would say very grotesque. There's a bit of body horror twisted into this, into the cybernetics and
Love it.
things for sure, which is yeah, is will hit the kind of crowd in the right way. Um so it does a good job of blending kind of the elements of the game with some kind of new things that you can only do in I think you can really only do in animation that probably wouldn't work in the game quite so well.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even looking at the difference in the game and the anime, it goes into some things that it doesn't, like the mentalness. What's it called again?
Cyber psycho cyber
Cyber Psycho.
psychosis.
I mean, that was a side mission, and it doesn't affect the main character in the game. But in this one, it's like a very real threat to everyone, and
Yeah.
that's when you have augmentations to your body. It makes you go mental, basically. And
The other thing I really liked is when he had the Sandivistan put in. Not
mm,
that I've been practicing that word just so I can throw it out off the cuff like it was really easy. Um, but when he has that put in, which is the spinal implant that makes him move really fast,
yeah,
he gets like at one point he uses it too much too often and just like his body starts to reject it basically. And in it they're all like, well, what meds are you taking? As if it's like once you get implants you have to take meds to stop your body rejecting them, which makes perfect scientific sense. And
yeah,
I don't think it's really touched on in the game. It's not like a survival mechanic that you have to do. um
it's not a thing in the game, but
it's not so much a thing in the game, but I kind of love that they built it into this because it takes it deeper into the sci-fi realm. Um
it
and it's a
stops
nice
them
artistic touch.
everyone becoming OP though as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And that's the other thing about cyber psychosis is like you can mod yourself to fuck, but at what cost? There is a cost to kind of like changing your bodies. Which brings me on to my question for the week.
Hmm.
Which is like, okay, so we're in Night City. You've got a few hundred grand to spend on whatever cyber implants you want.
Right.
What are you going for? What's your top three?
So a lot of the enhancements are either for netrunners for diving at the web, or the offensive, so the weapons. I'll probably choose neither. Something that I would actually use. So I would have
Thumbs a
a
lighter.
thumbs a lighter, um, a
Yeah.
spanner attachment for me hands, like
Ooh.
a finger. So it's like, um,
You're
I'd
basically
want to
just turning yourself into a toolbox, is what's happening.
pretty much. I'm just sick of carrying toolboxes around. Oh, I'd want to jump really high, so like I want to look like I could squat 1,000 times. Big
um,
old junk.
Jackson Wall Studio says, "Hey Chooms, my nips would also be 2,000 watt halogen torches. Blink twice to turn them on." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
But
I've
you'd
just realised Edge Runners also, Jackson Wolfish also just put something in the chat has made me realise why they're called Edge Runners, because they're running on the edge of just the right amount of chrome to be a badass and only a slightly bit psychotic. Um yeah. I would have if we were
I know
going
I wouldn't wear the hat. Look at her.
basically Chris wants to be he wants his arms to be Inspector Gadget arms.
Yeah.
Swiss Army Chris.
What would you get?
Um, I think I would like to be able to run really fast. Like they have an option to have like your lungs. Like at one point he gets his lungs reinforced.
Mm.
Um, which I think would be good. I do think I would also like the ability to like decide when I take on calories or not. So some sort of like automatic diet stomach where I could just
Right.
eat whatever I want but not have to worry about my body metabolizing stuff would be handy.
There aren't a lot of bigger people in this, are there?
Well, no, but you do have some different body shapes, which I do appreciate because Dorio in it is like a hench lady.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Dorio, MVP. Um, oh, don't make that face. I know.
Sorry, did I subconsciously make a face there?
Yeah, subconsciously my ass. And then I think I'd probably want some sort of like net running type implants. I think I would very quickly be happy to live in a virtual world. I think if I'm running in Cyberpunk, I'm not running at all. I'm sitting in an ice bath and uh yeah, doing the brain thing.
What
That'd
would
be
you
my
do?
third
Because
one.
you can get files, you can control things electronically.
Yeah.
Is that just what you do?
Yeah, I'd spend most of my time probably just fucking fucking with my friends, making life a bit easier for everybody.
Do you know what I think would be amazing? Closing doors of people's faces. Just as they get up to it. Just,
Oh.
oh,
And and really really like wait for them to be like and then as they give up and turn away, then you open again. I did also wonder if like because there are lots of like um physical augmentations that you could have as well. So things like having hair that I could just change color with a thought, or they also have nails. And it led us down a YouTube thing, and um Ben found a video of someone who's created like actual photo some I can't remember what they're called, but they're like nails which change color based on an app on your nails. They're like robot nails. They're like
oh.
tiny little screens, fake screen nails. Stuff like that I would be all over in a cyberpunk world. I'd be like tricking myself out with all the kind of weird fashion things.
I thought you were gonna say, I've seen them drinks that you dip into nails, drip into drinks to see if they're spiked.
Oh,
That kind
what
of
on your
stuff.
nails?
I think it's like a coating or something, and it does something.
That's clever. That's saving lives, that kind of thing.
I don't know if it was an AI video though. I'm not good enough to tell the
Oh
difference
yeah,
now.
could be. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Would be good though.
My dream actually Laketta has just put a true dystopian world where my where your dream job is Alexa. I want to be the Alexa of my friend group. But I think I might be a bit obstinate. I would be like people would be like, Phoebe, play us this, play us some music, and I'd be like, okay, you're gonna listen to my music.
What, you just open your mouth and a speaker would stop playing?
Yeah.
Oh, was it
Yeah, yeah.
pre-AI, so it might be real?
Oh, I think that's a great invention.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah.
I'd rather
Stretching
that
the
than
mind, man.
screens.
Why not both? But also screens. Can you imagine? You could have like little patterns that change. You could have like you you could have like little smiley faces if you were
Can you watch
feeling
telly on it?
happy. I mean,
I don't know. I bite my nails. They're horrible and tiny. So
mine are quite long at the moment. They do need cutting because I've stopped being able to play musical instruments because they've gotten so long.
just stop biting them like
Um,
me.
Absolutely not. Savage. So yeah. But also I did realise you are actually legitimately a cyborg. So between the two of us, you are closer to a cyberpunk Night City universe
Oh yeah,
than I
that
am,
was
which is
it was
cool.
shouting at us before because I had low batteries.
Yeah.
My little insulin pump.
Yeah.
I'll not show the number.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
what were
glad
some of the
Shannon really
highlights?
cares.
So we've both you've watched up to episode 9, 10,
Yeah, just
and
starting 10.
I've watched up to episode 9, I think,
Mm,
which is like the big fight with Maine and Dario. Oh.
yeah.
Or Dario. Um, what have been some of the highlights for you so far?
Uh, so in general, I would say the animation, the action scenes, the story.
Just a good all
Is there
rounder.
anything else?
Like every episode has been better than the last.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it builds beautifully.
yeah. I mean, even talking about Main's fight at the end, and you just
Oh,
like you've got to like sit back and like it's like driving home with the radio off kind of moment where you're like, I've just got to absorb this and
yeah.
take it in. But I didn't
Genuinely,
expect that from this.
I didn't either because I thought it was, oh, this will be just a bit of fun. It's actually
Yeah,
quite got some really strong emotional beats. In fact, Maine, because so Maine is another spoiler alert, but if you've come to Anime Club not expecting spoilers from an anime that was released like years ago, then
yeah,
it is what it is. But so Maine goes cyber psycho, and it's the last person that you want to go cyber psycho. He's like the rock of the group. He's basically the dad.
yeah,
um, and he's like taken in. It's like a real hard hitting moment for David Martinez, who he's taken in and kind of rescued from, um, and given purpose to. You also have him going up against the love of his life, Dorio. So they're both like, and they're both these huge characters,
yeah.
having this fight. And when it happened, literally my jaw dropped to the floor. I was like, couldn't believe, yeah, how that plays out. But they do a really lovely thing for me, which I thought was really artful, which is as he's going cyber psycho, it's not just him losing his mind randomly, it's him in a kind of delusional state, so he sees everything as a like a desert, um and he's kind of running through, uh yeah, he's kind of running through, like, so the people that he's fighting, who are, some of them are his friends, he doesn't see them
Yeah.
as his friends, so for him he's actually acting completely logically in response to what he's seeing. It's just that what he's seeing isn't real. And never before have I seen such a perfect depiction of what it is like to lose your mind, where you think you are responding logically. Like, I don't think anyone who has that kind of breakdown or that kind of psychosis knows that they're having, like, they think they're in a world that is real and their actions are rational, and it's
I've
only because their reality is altered and different.
I have seen it before. The only thing I can compare it to is portrayals of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah, they do it a bit in Death of a Salesman as well, if we're going to get real arty with it.
Yeah,
Because one of the,
it's
yeah.
it was just like I thought he was going back to his like childhood before he was in Night City or something.
I thought it was like his like almost like a military past,
Mm.
but it was, yeah, heartbreaking. Right up until the end, right? Because he at one point, so he suddenly he realizes he basically shoots the love of his life, and then at one point he's like piling up like logs to like cremate her body, but it's
It's
just
like a funeral
chunks
pyre.
of, it's like a funeral pyre, and even then it's like he's just like tossing like chunks of metal um and spikes. And it's just so artful. Really is like, it really is, for me that was one of the highlights. And I feel like every episode had a moment where I was like, oh, that's really clever the way they've done that. It's just really
Yeah,
artful. And the game kind of has that as well. Like the game has a lot of detail to it. Even down to the fact that all the missions are named after songs, because obviously you've got Johnny Silverhand in your head, who is like a former rock star.
yeah,
Um, like there is a level of world building and attention to detail, and Cyberpunk Edgerunners take it to a next level, I think, than the game. Uh, yeah, yeah. Definitely
reliving
reliving
trauma in a
trauma.
video game format.
Yeah,
Jackson
that's
will say.
basically that's basically what this anime is. So
It
no,
does
I
have a.
really loved it. It's so good, and I will be finishing it.
It makes me want to play the game again because it does. I don't know. It adds more depth to it.
Yeah, yeah. And actually they've, so this is what Ben was telling me earlier, because we were, so there's a scene where you're like in the started like the apartment that you started in Night City. And just like he was just like, oh, I'm just gonna leave the flat, and he for the first time ever went upstairs, and he was like, oh, I've never been up here before. And then he came across a door with an eviction notice on it, and we were like, is that supposed to be David Martinez's apartment? And apparently they did a lot of tie-ins like after the anime was released. They did a lot of
Right.
tie-ins to the game. So I think if you, I think it's one of those things where if you're a fan of the game and then you go and watch the anime, it adds a new appreciation to the game as well.
Yeah.
um Having that kind of detail is amazing, and you do see the occasional character pop up who is in the anime, which is awesome.
But
Yeah,
have you noticed any of the characters in the anime from the game?
yeah. So there's one, I forget what she's called. I'm obsessed with her. I keep calling her see, this is the problem, I can't remember her actual name. I call her Mummy because she gives me Helen Mirren vibes in the
Right.
game. But she's like one of the sort of information broker type characters. And she appears in the anime. And when she pops up, Ben pointed it out, and I was like, oh, Mummy!
Is that the
So weird.
Chinese gang?
No, but Takamura is also appears or is mentioned in the
Mhm.
anime, and Takamura is the guy. Rogue,
Rogue.
that's it.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, Jackson Wolf Studios. Rogue appears. Um,
Because I know Jackson Wolf Studio might know this, but there's a guy that you have to fight in the game that is an absolute tank, and he's referenced in the next episode.
oh, nice. Well, I'll look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Some of the fights in the game are very tough, and it makes me pleased that I get to just sit back and watch the story bits of it. Because I think if I was left alone with the game, I would have raged quit it a long time ago.
It's fine.
But luckily, Ben is a much better gamer than I am. So that's nice. um, yeah, so we've both said like it completely like blew us both out of the water. Like I think maybe the best thing I've watched all year so far for Anime Club. Um,
30th of Jan. Probably, yeah.
30th of Jan, yeah. Ending January on a high. Um, what are we going? Well, actually, first of all,
Random Smasher,
we
yeah.
have we have we have done a challenge this week. So we're going to decide who gets to pick the next anime, which was monster anime was your category.
Yes.
Yeah. And we did a challenge which our friend Lee, longtime friend of Anime Club, and your co-host in Straw Chat and the Christopher Lee podcast. Um,
We
it,
don't have audio issues there.
very kindly adjudicated for us, which was how many jelly beans are in this jar. So do you want to roll the tape, Chris?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll just play it now.
Right. So, Pheebs, how many
Yeah.
jelly beans do you think are in this jar? I'll give it a little twirl for you. You're going to have about 10 seconds to just have a quick look.
Turn it up. I want to see the bottom. Interesting. Okay. I think it's 250.
250. It's actually
Yeah.
891.
I was so. How did you work that out? Did you sit and count them all
I
out?
sat and individually counted every single jelly bean.
Okay, fair.
Right? Thank you for that.
I was way off. No worries.
It's alright, Chris might be as well.
Right. Jelly beans, jelly beans.
Jelly beans, right. How many jelly beans are in this jar? I'm going to give it a twirl, just like I did with Pheebs. And Pheebs asked if she could see the bottom as well.
I don't care about the bottom. I'm going to guess 783.
Right, okay. And the actual number of jelly beans is 891.
Did you count all them?
I did. I counted them all individually. Phoebes also asked the same question.
We don't know who's closest to her. We're not going to say.
No, it'll get revealed
When
whenever you want it revealed.
When we come off this call, say, I cannot believe you guessed the exact number, Chris.
Okay.
Right, no bother.
Okay.
Cheers.
Right, thanks for that. See you there.
Hey,
Winner!
well done, well deserved. Can we just talk about how much I think jelly beans are, like, how much capacity I think jelly beans take up? There was part of me that crossed my mind where I was like, has Lee put like a century egg or something in the middle of this jar to like take up space? Which is why I asked to see the bottom of the jar. I wanted to see if I could see like if it was pure jelly beans or not. But it was pure jelly beans, and I was way, way off. So well done, Chris. What are we going to be watching next week?
Do you want us to explain me thinking before I
Oh yeah, how did you get so close?
So right, I knew that this was filmed before Lee's payday, and he'd been complaining that he was skint. So I checked Amazon for jelly beans, and I was like, I know a kilo goes for about a tenner, and I was like, that's about the right amount he would go for. And then I googled how many jelly beans are in a kilo, and it's about anywhere from 900 to 1,000.
Bloody, that's some serious detective work. I'm not even mad because I just pulled a number out my butt.
Well, we'll put it on Instagram. Someone guessed about 1,200. Tony guessed in the low hundreds, so he was completely
okay.
wrong.
So he was like in the same camp as me of like that feels like a lot of jelly beans.
He was in the same camp as you, as in he was wrong. But yeah,
yeah. Fair. So what are we watching next week then?
Next week,
oh, Mr. Right.
Mr. Reed, actually.
yeah.
We are watching The Faraway Paladin. So basically,
hey, not seen that one.
It's an isekai. I've never seen it too either. I'm obviously trying something new. It's an isekai where a child is born and gets transported to another world and gets raised by a mummy, a skeleton, and someone else. And it's all about his journey to become a paladin, and that's all the research I've done.
Nice.
Okay. Basically, I just checked that it hits our rules, that it's not a horror anime, and it doesn't have any underage stuff, and then spot on.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, The Faraway Paladin. I look forward to it. And then the week after, we'll figure out what our challenge will be soon.
Hang on a second. Jackson Wolf Studio is saying that's cheating. I'm sorry. Does revising for a test count as cheating as well?
Kris is when we did the marble run challenge right at the beginning. We did have to keep you honest. I'm willing to say that you used what you knew about Lee to enhance your guess. I don't think that's cheating. It is revising. And I'm just impressed that you put that much thought into it because that's not something I would have expected.
I just don't like losing.
But I did think that we were both coming to it cold, so I also am a bit because I didn't even know we were going to be doing it until I was pulled into a call.
Yeah.
Which is why I looked tired and angry.
That's fine. I was
So
in an
I
Uzi.
think that is more cheating, is the fact that you sprung it on me. You deliberately put me at a disadvantage, but that's fine. So the week after, because it's my consolation prize, is I get to then pick the theme, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to pick unusual animation styles. So an anime that has an animation style that is not like anything else is my theme.
Right.
It's not technically a genre, but that's what I'm going for.
Does anything spring out straight away? Like
So I
you?
have two that I might decide, but I don't know yet. I'm going to do a bit of research, I think, and see because I've seen both of these, which is there's Mononoke, which has a very kind of like almost like paper collage animation style to it.
Yep.
And then there's a film called Tekonkincrete, which is
Say
real
that 2
weird.
times fast.
Tekonkincrete, which is real weird, but an absolute is a very fun film, and I haven't seen it for a very long time, but I have seen it before, so I want to try and find something that neither of us have seen. But if I can't, I'll pick one of them.
That's interesting because it'll be on the verge of what you can class as an anime as well.
It will be, yeah. It will be. We might have a controversial winner. But we're here to push boundaries, Kris. Anime is nothing if not serious.
Life is art.
Life is art. Art imitates life. Sometimes life is strange.
Weirdly, the first thing that popped in my head was there's a Pokemon series where it's almost as if all of the characters are made of felt.
Pokemon Concierge.
My son absolutely loves it, and he's
Love
been
it.
watching it.
It's so lovely. I'm so glad Finley's into it. It's absolutely delightful.
He's locked.
I'd allow that.
Totally.
Rilakkuma, same animation style as Rilakkuma. I think it's made by the same people, which is about a woman who adopts a giant cuddly bear and a little bear and a little bird. And it's
you have suggested this to me before.
Because I think Finley will love it, and it's cozy as hell. It's quite a calm one as well, so it's a good one for maybe just before bed.
I'm going to try to not do a calm one. New series of Berserk.
Nice. So, any last thoughts before we close off?
I'm really glad that you suggested this because it would have totally glossed over it. I played the game Cyberpunk 2077. I loved it. And it was at that stage where I was just like, right, that's in the past. I'm not going to play that anymore. And I wouldn't have gave this a chance if you didn't suggest it. But
nice.
That's what it's about.
And that's what's quite fun about having this new system that we have. Where it's kind of like a chance to actually just like really suggest the things that you think otherwise we might veto if someone else had a choice.
Yeah. I mean, we'd only veto them if it has Disturbers stuff in it.
Yeah. Yeah. In which case, that's totally fine to veto. We're not gonna... I'd never make you watch something like that, though. Although this does have a lot of tits. That's the last thing I want to say. And I think that's a plus.
Blue nips.
Blue nips. Blue nips sink ships. Catch you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.